Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, a school bus crashes in Jackson County. Plus, President Trump's second term is sending shockwaves throughout the world. We'll take a look at the president's foreign policy record ahead of next week's State of the Union address.
And we're seeing a line of showers and storms push through eastern Kentucky. A first alert weather day continues. Details coming up right now.
Dedicated to southern and eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Strong storms are moving across parts of Kentucky, and it is a first alert weather day. Let's get right to meteorologist Eric Dean for the latest.
Steve, we've been talking about this for the past several days, and now it is here. Take a look here at live pinpoint Doppler radar. We'll go ahead and pinpoint over towards portions of Pike County, a little bit of Magoffin County, near the Paintsville area, just to the north and west of the Mount Gay area right now, seeing some shower and storm activity. Earlier, we had some severe thunderstorm warnings, none in eastern Kentucky as of right now. We do have a flood watch in effect for Lawrence County, as well as Wayne County in West Virginia. This goes into effect until 7 o'clock Friday morning. We also have a flood advisory in effect for Floyd, Johnson, Magoffin County, as well as Martin County until 9 o'clock this evening, 6:30 for portions of Magoffin County, Morgan, and Wolfe County, and then Estill, Lee, Powell, and Wolfe County. This little line right here will expire at 6 o'clock this evening. Now, just to the west of us, not in our viewing area, but to the west of us, a tornado watch is in effect until 9 a.m. We are monitoring that very, very close, as some of this could extend into portions of the WYMT viewing area. And look at what's going on to the north and west. All is quiet from Louisville up to about Indianapolis. We go towards the Terre Haute, Indiana area. You see this little pink polygon right here. This tornado warning in Crawford County, Illinois does have a considerable damage tag on it, and one has been observed. So again, that's in the northwestern part of Indiana going into Illinois. 64 is the current temperature right now. That wind is picking up out of the south and southwest at 11 miles per hour. We'll time everything out with Future View coming up in the first alert forecast in a few minutes. Steve.
Eric, thank you. A Jackson County school bus was involved in a crash this morning. Officials with Jackson County Public Schools say there were no serious injuries. A post on Facebook said students were taken to the Board of Education following the crash. The school district also posted all students had been examined by EMS. In South Central Kentucky, a teenager was charged in connection with the death of a woman and her son. State police say they were called about the death investigation in the Scottsville community of Allen County last night. A mother identified as Tracy Traskey, along with her 12-year-old son, were found dead inside a home. A 17-year-old that was arrested in the case is facing charges of murder as well as tampering with evidence. The Kentucky Supreme Court struck down the state's charter school funding law. The unanimous decision affirmed a lower court ruling that charter schools, as created under House Bill 9, fall outside Kentucky's constitutionally protected common school system. That means public tax dollars cannot be used to fund them without voter approval. Justice Michelle Keller wrote the majority opinion, saying charter schools do not meet the definition of common schools because they can cap enrollment, use a lottery for admission, and operate independently of local school boards. You can read the full opinion on WYMT.com. Senate Bill 47 is moving through the General Assembly. It passed the Kentucky Senate unanimously, and if signed into law, it would expand line-of-duty death benefits to search and rescue team members. As we told you last night at 11, they do not get any death benefits if they are killed in the line of duty. The Wolfe County Search and Rescue Team posted about the bill, saying, quote, SAR missions are dangerous. Our team and other SAR teams across Kentucky risk everything so others may live. We believe our families deserve the same protection other first responders receive, end quote. The bill now moves to the House. Continuing in Frankfort, Senate Bill 74 has passed through the Senate Health Committee unanimously. The bill constitutes setting up a vaping settlement trust fund, which would be designed to invest in youth vaping prevention. London's Brandon Storm is one of the co-sponsors of the bill. It now heads to the Senate floor. We have more coverage of the legislative session in our next half hour. Investigators are still hoping for a break in the disappearance of Kentucky native Nancy Guthrie. Police in Arizona say they are pursuing genealogical leads based on partial DNA recovered from Guthrie's home in the Catalina foothills yesterday. DNA recovered from gloves found roughly 2 miles away turned up no matches in the FBI's national database. The reward for information leading to Nancy Guthrie's whereabouts was increased to more than $200,000. President Donald Trump's first State of the Union address of his second term is expected to be wide-ranging, but foreign policy has been a particular source of pride for the president during the last year. WYMT senior national correspondent Peter Zampa tells us what we can expect.
As President Donald Trump prepares to address a joint session of Congress on the State of the Union, foreign policy is expected to play a substantial role in his speech. It's an area where President Trump gives himself high marks. It's also an area that has much of the world order hanging on a knife's edge.
Biden, who is the worst president in the history of our country.
We're just in a different world now, and every country in the world understands that.
Lincoln Mitchell is a foreign policy expert at Columbia University. Between imposing tariffs on U.S. allies, threats of seizing sovereign territory like Greenland, and building an international board of peace, Mitchell argues the post-World War II order may never be the same.
It's really changed how the U.S. relates to and how the rest of the world sees the United States, particularly how our allies see us.
Over the last year, President Trump consistently mentioned his part in ending multiple wars around the world.
Settle the war, get it finished.
The president believes he was snubbed when he did not win the Nobel Peace Prize. But he also pledged to end the Ukraine-Russia war within the first week of his second term.
My sense is that if this war was going to end anytime soon, it would have ended already.
Mitchell says the president should be credited for crafting a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas.
If you end that and get a fragile ceasefire, that's good, right? We want fragile ceasefire is still a ceasefire.
President Trump also sending a message in the Middle East by bolstering the military presence aimed at Iran. In the Western Hemisphere, the dramatic arrest and extradition of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, showing the president's willingness to dismantle regimes he sees at odds with U.S. interests. Many State of the Union observers will be curious to see how the president lays out his foreign policy roadmap for the year ahead. Particular attention will be paid to comments about our allies and organizations like NATO and the United Nations. Reporting in New York, I'm Peter Zampa.
Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger will deliver the Democratic response to the president's State of the Union address next week. We learned that today. She will deliver that response next Tuesday. Spanberger was elected Virginia's first woman governor just last year. You can watch the State of the Union and Democratic response next Tuesday night at 9 o'clock here on WYMT. The United States military could be ready to strike Iran as soon as this weekend. That's according to sources familiar with a White House briefing. Top administration national security officials reportedly met yesterday in the White House Situation Room to discuss possible military action in Iran. Air and naval assets have been building up in the Middle East in recent days. President Trump has hinted at a desire for a regime change and has insisted Iran not obtain a nuclear weapon. However, he has not said what precisely his objectives would be in ordering an attack. Oil prices jumped to their highest level in nearly 7 months. The increase is tied to the rising tensions between the United States and Iran. Brent crude, the global benchmark, rose 1.6% to $71.49 per barrel. Gold is also up, with prices edging higher earlier today. That's after a 2% gain for gold yesterday. A federal judge in Minnesota held a Trump administration attorney in civil contempt yesterday. The contempt finding was given for, quote, flagrant disobedience of court orders in the case of a non-citizen swept up in the immigration crackdown earlier this year. It appears to mark the first time a federal attorney has faced court-ordered sanctions during President Trump's second term. The judge ordered lawyer Matthew Isahara to pay $500 each day that the immigrant is not given back his identification documents. The man was released last week from an Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, the Super Bowl championship team is up for sale.
And we're seeing a line of storms push through eastern Kentucky. We'll time everything out hour by hour coming up.